Hi everyone, welcome to practice. Thank you for joining me. My name is Anna Woodshill. This is AWH Yoga. So tonight's class is created for this New Year's week. So we are about to say goodbye to 2020, and I know that none of us are sad about that. So I've been thinking about that. I've been thinking about looking forward and renewing and facing new things and saying goodbye to old things. But I've also been thinking about how important it is to respect the past. And I've been having some issues with my back and my neck, and I actually went to PT last week, and I heard a really interesting thing from my PT where he talked about how sometimes in the back of our body that we can't see, we don't think about those sort of parts in the same way as we do the things that we can see, especially when they're in pain, and how we use them. So I started thinking about the back body, and something that I've always really been passionate about is breathing into the back body, into the back space. So today, what I want to do is I want to combine that element of respecting the past and sort of thinking about how we all had to have our own back. You had to get your own back in 2020, and I just want to respect that, and I want to breathe into that space, and then we can take things forward. So tonight's class will be X minutes because I've been promising 30 and it's been 50. I'm just not even going to go there tonight. So you will need and benefit from props, a strap if you have it, or a towel and a blanket to help assist you this evening. This will be an all levels flow, so I will offer recommendations and modifications along the way. Take it easy on your body, take it easy on yourself. Enjoy your practice, and let's get started. So we're going to start lying down this evening on our backs. So carefully move your props out of the way and find yourself lying down. And be careful and gentle as you place yourself on your mat. Give yourself time to really sink in and feel comfortable. And close your eyes here and just first take notice of what parts of your back body are touching the earth. And now start to notice the parts of your back body that are not touching the earth, that don't have direct support. And now notice your breathing. Notice as you draw an inhale in, and as you exhale out. Now slowly start to make those inhales and exhales more deliberate. Maybe you begin to draw both your inhales and exhales through the nose. Giving your mind an opportunity to slow down and to come in sync with your still body. We often take a little longer for the worryings of our active minds to come in line with the stillness of our bodies. Anyone who's ever tried to take a nap during a busy day with lots to do, or try to go to sleep in the evenings, I can all relate to that. One way to help the mind and the body sync up is through the breath. Let's do one more deep breath together here. And from this grounded and mindful place of beginning, if you wish to set an intention for your practice, this is a beautiful time to do that. And let's seal our intention with one inhale through the nose and a long, soft exhale out of the mouth. So inhale through your nose and exhale. Beautiful. Slowly start to bring some movement into your body. You can return your breath to its natural rhythm for now. And as we invite that movement, you can choose to keep your eyes closed or open them. Bring your knees into the chest and allow your arms to meet them in a nice embrace. Maybe a little bit of rocking side to side. Now maybe more of your back is on the mat. And just notice the difference there from when you had your maybe arch in your lower back and different parts of your body touching the mat. One more breath here, either in stillness or this light wiggle. I'm doing some ankle rolls because that's what happened. One more breath. Exhale out. And then after that full exhale, unclasp your arms from around your knees and then bring your feet flat to the floor and keep your legs sort of neutrally coming out of the hip socket. So we don't want the legs rolling out or kind of coming in. We want to keep them neutral for just a moment. So I want you to feel kind of what that feels like. Do you have to engage your legs to make that happen? The natural tendency for our legs out of the hip socket is to fall open to the side. So there should be a little bit of engagement to keep them neutral, interestingly enough. And then draw your navel to your spine and feel the flat of your back sort of engaging with the floor, and then feel how that feels different in your legs and what you might have to change from an engagement perspective to stay neutral. From here, take one breath in, exhale out. And now I want you to deliberately sort of knock your knees in together. So as you do this, feel what changes in what parts of your back are touching the floor. And now again, bring your navel to your spine and feel what engagement changes in your quads, maybe your outer hips. Is anything going on with your upper body and your torso as you do that? One more breath here. Exhale out, and then release back to that neutral position from the hip socket. So you can see just subtle changes in our leg positioning, and the way we're drawing our navel in changes the position of our back on the floor. So from here, we're going to do a little bit of a dynamic bridge. So you can move your feet a little bit closer to sort of your butt, but you don't need to have them, all the way there, nor do you need to have your fingers touching. This is just a light engagement. So draw your navel to your spine, inhale, and then on your continued inhale, you're going to lift your hips up to the sky, aiming to have sort of that straight line. Keep your neck strong and facing the same way, so don't turn left and right, and then extend your arms back behind you, inhale. And then on your exhale, bring everything back down. So I'm going to do that a couple more times. This is very gentle to start, just a little bit of warm up for the lower back, thighs, outer hips, and core. Inhale, and then exhale back down. If it's not comfortable for your arms, you can leave them stationary and just lift your hips up to the sky. Inhale, And exhale back down. So you can see the glutes are getting involved a little bit. Inhale. And then exhale back down. Let's do one more like this. Inhale. And exhale back down. Nice. So from here we're going to do a windshield wiper. So you'll hear this a lot kind of after our constructive rest, which was leaning our knees in. So you want to, from a neutral position, you want to take your knees and windshield wiper them the same direction. So to the left, and then back through the center and to the right. And keep your hands, palms flat on the ground to sort of ground you. You don't want to lift your hips up too far off the ground, but you do want to get some good movement. This starts to get a little mobility in the spine. This is actually a very good neutralizing posture. Let's do one more each direction. Keep the breath going. Beautiful. And coming back to center. Now we're going to do a little bit of a gentle twist. So continuing to focus on our back body. Bring both your knees in. You can do this with both legs or just one. So I'm going to actually show the first side with both knees. So bringing your knees in, hugging them in, inhale. And then on your exhale, gentle twist to the left. So it's actually a twist to the right, but we're dropping our knees down to the left. Great place for blocks if you want to use them here to bring the earth up to your left sort of outer leg. So we can release our right arm to the right side. You can use a cactus arms, you can have your palm flat, or you can keep your hand sort of on the torso. But you want to be twisting the upper body to the right as your legs twist left, and then breathe. So already introducing some gentle mobility into the spine. Remembering that our back body has so many areas of need and movement. One more breath. Exhale out. And then return your legs back into Apanasana. So on your inhale, squeezing in. And then on your exhale, let's move to the other side. I'm going to show this with one leg. So my right leg will extend to the ground, and then I'm going to do a gentle twist, just using my left knee crossing over the right side of my body, reaching for the ground as my left upper body twists open to the left. And looking left if that's comfortable for your neck, but wherever you are, just breathe. And the back will open up just as the rest of our body will open up throughout our practice. It's really important to introduce gentle movements to the body, especially the spine, in our yoga practice. One more breath. And then return to having your knees hugging into your chest. We're going to move into a rock and roll. So you guys know how I love doing the rock and rolls, and you want to feel every area of your spine sort of getting some attention. So cross your right ankle over your left and place your hands behind your knees or sort of underneath, on top of underneath of your thighs. So you can get a little momentum, so rock a little bit back. Maybe do a little light rock to kind of get going. And then we're not going to come up to seated yet. We're actually going to move into boat pose from here. So once you feel like you've gotten a good amount of your spine, feeling that love, kind of come up to boat. And you can come up to any modification. Your toes can be on the ground. You can be in sort of full Navasana here. I'm not ready for that. I'm just going to sort of do a light version of this. And then to keep this dynamic, you can either cross your left over your right if you want to go crazy. Return your hands to that same position behind your legs, and then rock and roll again. So curving that spine. Be careful as you get a little more momentum. You don't want to go back too far. You want to kind of stop right before your cervical spine, but really getting your thoracic and lumbar all involved, and then bring it up to hold to a boat. Core is engaged. Lower back is strong, extending out as far as you're comfortable, keeping those legs neutral from the hip sockets. We don't want to have those kind of turned out in like ballerina style. Keep those neutral. That'll become important later in our practice. One more breath. Cross the right over the left. One more. Rock and roll. As many of these as feels good to you. I usually do like 10 of these in the morning. You can also put your hands on the outside of your knees if that's more comfortable, and then when you're ready for your challenge, hold in boat pose. So everybody come up to boat, your version. Chest is open. Remember, if your chest is sort of caving in, you're probably dumping a little bit into that lower back as well. Just bring your feet closer to the ground so you can get that nice open chest. One more breath here. Exhale, crossing the right over the left and then coming sort of through a seated position. And then you're going to actually move into a tabletop, but just for a moment. Just for a moment. We're going to do just a couple cat-cows, and then we're going to get right up and keep moving. So of course, cat-cow, great for spine. Let's drop our belly and lift our chin to the sky. Inhale, cow pose, and then exhale, cat pose. Inhale, cow pose. Exhale, cat pose. Remember, you want to be in that nice tight square with your wrists under your shoulders. Inhale. And your knees under your hips. Exhale, cat pose and hold. Take one extra breath here in your cat pose. Exhale out. Feel that lengthening of the cervical spine. And then return to your neutral position. And from your nice, soft upper back and strong and long cervical spine, curl both toes under, keeping those hips nice and neutral, and then hovering 3 inches off the ground. Everything else stays the same. Squeezing those outer hips in, soften that upper back. One more breath. Cores engaged, and then lift your hips to the sky, down dog. Beautiful. So in your first downward dog, let's go ahead and get some dynamic movement. We always want to allow this first downward dog to be extra sweet, just for us. And as you kind of work out the cobwebs and the kinks, I want you to start thinking about the back body. So you might be thinking about that in terms of your hamstrings and your calves because you're getting a direct stretch. But start to think about the glutes. Start to think about your lower back, your thoracic spine, back of your neck, even the back of your arms. Just things that you don't normally always think about needing to receive breath or being focused on in down dog. And come to stillness. And then I want you in your down dog, wherever that is, whether your heels are on the floor, whether your knees are bent, whatever your down dog looks like today. And I want you to take a deep breath in, exhale out. Now do the same thing, and I want you to think about breathing in your back. So just think about that. I'm not going to tell you to do anything differently. I just want you to think about that as we breathe in together. So breathe in, exhale out. Do you feel that expansion of the ribs in the back body as you did that? Let's do it one more time. Inhale, exhale out. Looking forward between your palms, hop, step, or float, nice and gentle to the front of our mat, and meet me in a ragdoll. Keep your knees bent here. Again, legs are neutral from the hip socket, squeezing those outer hips in, but dropping that upper body down, really lengthening through the spine. Clasping your elbows if that's comfortable for you, or just reaching toward the ground. Again, you can bring the ground to you with some props here. You don't have to be completely folded, but you want to have that stretching out of the hips and waist before you fold forward. And as you keep breathing here, again, I want you to think about the back body. So find your comfort level in your forward fold in your ragdoll, and then take a deep breath in, thinking about the back body. Inhale. Exhale out. You feel the expansion in your side ribs, or where your lats are. You feel the oxygen flowing out. Let's do one more. Exhale out. Beautiful. Now, on our next breath, we're going to roll up super slow. To encourage the slowness of this, I always gently graze my fingertips to the front of my legs, thighs, and torso. Slowest one wins. Carefully curling up. Arms up above, Urdhva Hastasana. Shoulders soft. Exhale your hands to heart center and down by your side. Beautiful. So we warmed up the spine a little bit with our cat-cows in our traditional posture, and now I want to do a little bit of warming up in that regard, standing up. But first I want you to stand with your feet hips width distance apart, so that's the bony parts of our hips, not all of our extra parts. I remember in class when we first started training, teacher would say, none of your hips are as wide as your mat. Sometimes it feels that way, but really we want to line that up with the bony parts of our hips. So take a moment to feel where that is, and then feel all four corners of your feet touching the earth. You want to bring you kind of think of bringing your outer, strengthening your outer ankles and sort of drawing up through the arches of the feet. And then you want to be lifting up on your kneecaps and activating your quadriceps slightly, drawing your tailbone to the earth, very gently meeting your hips sort of in rib points toward each other, and then drawing length through the collarbones, softening the shoulders, chins parallel to the floor. And again, I want you to think in our Tadasana mountain pose about the back body. So imagine that maybe you're in your yoga class, or maybe you're in your living room and someone's sort of doing a 360 is all the way, right? A 360 of you. So what does your back body look like? Keep breathing here. Just imagining that. Imagine someone kind of filming you all the way around, like the terrible mirrors they have in fitting rooms. But imagine, send your breath and your strength to the back of your body. It is just as strong, if not stronger, than the parts you see. One more breath. Exhale out. Beautiful. Lifting your arms out to the side, kind of refreshing your posture. So spread your wings out. Then I want you to place your hands, you can use your cupcake fingers as I call them, onto your shoulders. So we're going to do a little bit of shoulder rolls with our arms up like this. If this is uncomfortable for you at all, you can just roll your shoulders in a more traditional way. But if you can, place them here. And then I want you to lift your shoulders up, inhale, and then down. Inhale up, inhale down. Just brings a little bit of extra stretch to the backs of our arms, and also just brings awareness to this different posture as we touch the tops of our shoulders. Inhale in, and exhale down. Nice. And we're going to do a little bit of a kind of roll. So you're going to kind of move into a forward, motion. Being gentle here, of course. If there's any discomfort, I want you to just roll your shoulders without your arms on top, but roll them kind of forward, keeping your palms attached, and then roll them back. Remember to keep everything else we had going on in our Tadasana the same. So don't lose any of your posture as you focus on your shoulders. Keep everything the same. And then come to stillness. And then we're just going to do a little bit of twisting. So you want to really twist from pretty much above your belly button, above your navel, and just a little bit of twist to the right, a little bit of twist to the left. Very gentle. And really that's kind of all you're moving, so we're not going too crazy. And you can move your neck as much as is comfortable. This is kind of where some of my general trouble zones are, so you won't see a lot of movement in my neck. But kind of really start to feel what's twisting. What's working here, transverse abdominis. You've got your obliques. I can never find mine, but they're in there somewhere. Just a couple more. And then bringing yourself back to stillness. Bring your wings back out and then down to your side, and then shake it out. Oh, I got a good pop in my thoracic. That'll be good. Save me some time at PT tomorrow. Okay, front of your mat. We're going to do a couple sun salutations. So from the front of our mat, inhale, arms up, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift, palms to the floor. Exhale, stepping back into your plank pose. Think about your back body. Hold here in your plank pose, softening the upper back, thinking one long line of energy from your heels to the crown of your head. Deep breath in. Exhale. Now you can choose to put your knees down, but wherever you are, pitching forward, squeezing those elbows in, halfway down and up into your cobra or upward dog, thinking about the back body, and then exhaling back to your downward dog. Beautiful. Take a moment here in down dog. Inhale. Exhale. One more time, think about the back body. Inhale, exhale. Looking forward between your palms, hop, step, or float to the front of your mat. Halfway lift, inhale, exhale, forward fold, and then inhale, arms up, Urdhva Hastasana, squeezing those outer hips in. Exhale, back down through heart center, and hands to your side. Let's do one more like that. Keep thinking about the back body through all of the actions. And when we get down to the floor, we're going to pause for just a moment and do a little bit of upper back work. So inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift. Exhale, palms to the floor, stepping back into your plank pose. Think about the back body. Give yourself a moment to situate. Inhale. And you can drop your knees down, pitching forward. Now come all the way to your belly. All the way down to your belly. Give yourself a moment to sort of settle into that. Keep breathing. Now place your hands, palms down on either side of your body. Place where your shoelaces would go. Put some engagement there onto the floor, making sure your legs are neutral out of the hip socket. And place your chin on the floor, and you kind of want to draw your tailbone toward your heels, getting a little bit of lift in the pelvis off the floor. And then on your inhale, raise your chest up, and you can slightly raise your arms up as well. Keep that engagement in the feet. Nice long cervical spine, so you don't want to be looking sort of too far down or too far up. Try to create that nice long line. One more breath. And then exhale down, right cheek to the mat. Let's do a nice breath here. Inhale. And exhale. Let's come back to the center. So chin can be here, re-engage, so your legs kind of fell out lazy. Re-engage them straight out of the hip socket, squeezing the outer hips slightly, putting the shoelaces part of your foot onto the mat, placing your palms down by your sides, and then drawing your tailbone to your heels, and that will create a little bit of lift where your pubic bone moves toward the floor. And on your inhale, lifting up the chest, and then lifting those palms slightly up. So think about the back body. Soften the shoulder blades down the back. 2 more breaths here. Give yourself space. Let the air fill up the back body as well as the chest. 1 more breath. And exhale, left cheek to the mat. Bringing your left cheek to the mat. Taking a few breaths here. And then coming back to center, we're going to move into Sphinx pose. So keep your legs in the same place that they were before, that same engagement, and then bring yourself up to your forearms. And you want to have your sort of elbows and your wrists are in a direct line, and you really want them coming directly out of where your shoulders are. So you don't kind of want them out, you don't want them like this. It takes kind of a moment to line that up. And then you want to imagine that your palms are flat on the mat, and that you're engaging and drawing that forward as if you're pulling the mat back to you, but just do that through the muscular engagement. And feel that sort of stretch in the core and then in your upper back, and soften the shoulders down. And 2 breaths here. Think about the back body. 1 more breath. Beautiful. Now we're going to come back through our tabletop. So however is the best way to get there. You can pop yourself back up from all the way down. I won't be doing that. I'm going to carefully come up through tabletop. And then bring your toes up, knees up, heels, and then all the way back. Hips to the sky and down dog. Inhale, look forward between your palms, hop, step, or float to the front of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, all the way up. Hands through heart center and down by your side. Inhale, chair pose. So squeezing those outer hips in, placing the weight into the heels. Maybe you can lift your toes up, keeping that engagement in the upper body so that you've got that neutral, close to a flat spine as you can, and that soft shoulder, open chest. Take an extra breath here, maybe drop down another inch. You can have your biceps by your ears here or be in heart center. 1 more breath. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, through your plank pose, dropping the knees, pitching forward. Inhale, think about the back body. Exhale, downward dog. right leg hip height, knee to nose. Bring your right foot toward your right palm. Give your legs and hips enough space, grounding through the foundation, lifting up warrior one. Squeezing those outer hips in, knife edge of that left foot, focusing down, heavy on that back foot. One more breath, and then hands through heart center, palms down by the side, popping that right foot back again, dropping the knees if you need to, moving through your chaturanga or your upward dog. Exhale, down dog, switching sides. Left leg up, hip height, knee to nose. Dropping that left foot down, getting secure through your foundation, squeezing those outer hips in, dropping that right foot, 45-degree angle, lifting up warrior one. From your warrior one, take a moment, squeezing everything in. Hips face toward the front, torso is toward the front. Soft shoulders, one more breath. Exhale, palms through heart center, dropping your hands down, putting your left foot back to meet your right, thinking about the back body the whole time. Drop your knees, pitching forward, inhale, cobra up dog. Exhale, down dog. Beautiful, one breath here. Clear it out. Look forward between your palms. Hop, step, or float to the front of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, Tadasana pose. Beautiful. Okay, let's add one more with a fun twist. Here we go. Inhale, arms up, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, plank pose, dropping your knees if you need to, squeezing those elbows in, thinking about the back body in your upward dog or cobra pose. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, right leg hip height, knee to nose. Drop your right foot down, placing that left edge of the foot down, rooting through your foundation, lifting up into warrior one, hold. Take a breath here. Exhale out. Bring your palms through heart center. And then I want you to put your arms, wings out. I have a little limitation with my wall. And then I want you guys to do thumbs down. Hopefully not to my video. So wings out, thumbs down, and then keeping your warrior one legs nice and strong. Clasping your hands behind your body, pulling them down, keeping them close to your body. So you don't want them popping out here. Drawing them down, opening up that chest, inhale, and exhale, humble warrior. So humble warrior, you want to move your right shoulder to kind of have a date with the inside of your right knee. Keeping your legs the same, keeping the upper body lifted. So you're not dumping down, you're actually keeping all the strength and rising up through that body, and it keeps that buoyancy in your upper body. So strong lower half, buoyant upper half, one more breath, and then coming back up through your warrior one, hands through heart center, palms on either side, bringing the right foot back to meet the left. Think about the back body, drop the knees if you need to. Inhale, cobra up dog. Exhale, down dog. One clearing breath here. Inhale, exhale. Left leg hip height, knee to nose. Place your left foot down, left side of your mat. Drop that right foot down. You know where we're going. Feel strong, squeezing those outer hips in to get that buoyancy and lift up to warrior one. 2 breaths here. Hold. Remember, everything we sort of adjusted the first round still applies. 1 more breath. Hands to heart center. Extend your wings out. Thumbs down to get that correct rotation of the arms and shoulders, and then clasping your hands behind your back body. If this is not accessible to you, you can clasp your arms like this, or you can just simply, you can actually cross them wherever is comfortable, or you can use a strap or a towel to make any of these poses more accessible. So from here, we're going to move into our humble warrior. Inhaling, drawing the arms down, opening the chest, and exhale, left shoulder to inside of left leg. Think about your foundation, think about your back body. So you're creating buoyancy by using your strong foundation, Smooth out the breath. Allow that breath to move in and out of the back and side body. One more. And then lifting back up with the breath through your warrior one. Hands through heart center. Palms down by your side, popping that left foot back, thinking about the back body. Dropping the knees, squeezing the elbows. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, back down. Downward dog. 2 clearing breaths here. Inhale. One more. Make it audible. Beautiful. Inhaling, looking forward between your palms. Hops upper flow to the front of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold, chair pose. So you're in your chair pose, squeezing those outer hips in, dropping that weight into your heels, making sure that your knees aren't moving sort of left and right like you're skiing. You want to keep those sort of straight ahead. One more breath here. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, back down through your plank pose. Hold plank pose. Think about the back body. Soften the top of your back, but still broaden your chest. One more breath. Drop your knees if you need to. Come down all the way to your belly. Nice. I know I need a breather. I might pause the video. One more breath here. We're going to move into bow pose. So this is actually our peak pose of the posture, and it's going to line up a lot of the things that we've done today. So I want you to return to having that engagement in the tops of your feet. You're going to be drawing your tailbone toward your toes, creating a little bit of lift in the pelvic area. And then instead of what we did for Shalabhasana, which was just have our arms behind us, we're actually going to grab onto the backs of our ankles. Now, you can actually grab whichever way is more comfortable, the inside or the outside. I'm going to try to do the inside today. Sometimes the angle of the shoulders and the rotation is a little bit much for me, but essentially clasping the ankles, keeping the legs neutral is key. So you don't want your legs to be bowing out. That's why we've been working so much on keeping the hips neutral in the hip socket. So keeping that neutrality and then keeping the shoulders retracted, so moving toward each other. You can start with your forehead on the mat, and then when you're ready, inhale, and on your exhale, you're going to come up. So inhale, actually I'm going to switch my arms, and then exhale, come up, bow pose. So try to smooth out your breath here, soften the shoulders, flex the feet where you can, and think about the back body. And then exhale down. So take a couple breaths here and be gentle with yourself. You can also windshield wipe your legs this way to sort of neutralize, similar to what we did in the beginning, except now we're on our front body. And we're going to try that again. What you can also do is try just half. So you can just do one half, which will give you more control. And that will also allow you to sort of feel out what goes awry. But I would be very careful when you're doing just one side, because for me, it's actually too easy to just try to get more from holding myself up, and I actually feel like I pull my lower back. So be very careful. I'd rather see you try to do both in the correct rotation of the shoulders and the legs, and just get very lightly up for just a moment, get a breath, and come back down for the symmetry. So let's try it again. So chin on the mat in front of you, and you want to start with that engagement. The reason this is important is starting with the engagement in the legs, even though you're going to pick them up, keeps the sort of hips and outer thighs doing their job. If you just sort of wung these up here, it's harder to keep everything sort of neutral in the hip socket. So starting in that engaged posture, bringing them up, clasping where is comfortable for you. And when you're ready, coming up into bow pose, Dhanurasana. So take the breaths you can, and then come down carefully. And then again, let's windshield wiper the legs. You can sort of place your arms resting on your hands on top of each other. It's a pretty intense posture. Definitely something that you want to be warmed up for. Highly recommend making sure you've been warming up your thoracic spine and your lower back before trying that. So it's not something that you want to just go, good morning, bow pose. A little bit more windshield wiper, and then when you're ready, come to stillness. And then we're going to move back in through our tabletop. I'm going to, if you do want to move up from sort of lying flat on the floor, it's really important to have your sort of hands, the top of your rib cage, and then squeezing in those shoulders. As you squeeze in those shoulders, it should sort of naturally elevate you. That's how you know you've kind of done it enough. I think Catherine Budig calls this like the Jackie Chan arms. So as you do that, create engagement in the legs and create engagement in the arms, and you can sort of pop yourself back up. Obviously, you want to be careful if you have any shoulder or neck issues like myself. But coming back through tabletop or whatever's comfortable for you, curling the toes up. One more down dog. Exhale out. We're going to move into pigeon pose. So lifting your right leg up, hip height or whatever is comfortable for you. I have a little bit of space limitation here. And then curling that knee to the nose, and then bringing the right ankle behind the left wrist, dropping that right knee behind the right wrist, and then making sure that you've got that left leg extending back out straight from the hip socket, and it didn't go off to the side. Take the time to settle in. And this is also another great place for a prop. So I'm going to awkwardly reach for this because I don't have an assistant or anything. And this is a place where if you want to place the block underneath your hip, I also like to use things that are soft there. So, you know, placing a blanket or a towel is also a little more comfortable, especially if you only just need a little bit of lift. So wherever you are, keep that foot flexed in the front. Take a breath, and then fold over that front leg if you can. You can also use a prop here to just release the pressure from your neck, but still get a little bit of that forward fold. And then just drop in. Drop in and say hello. Hopefully that is a phrase that we can all say to our friends and neighbors soon in 2021. Releasing into this hip stretch can be challenging. The body can sort of want to resist for a moment. We keep so much of our emotional tension in our hips and our neck as well. So sometimes it kind of doesn't want to give. So really when you work through half pigeon, you want to give yourself at least a couple of minutes to get all the way in there and get maximum benefits. One more deep breath together. Or if you need more, you can certainly pause and catch up with us later. And this posture is always here for you. When you're ready, carefully bringing your arms back in toward the body, and lifting yourself up carefully. I always like to get another little bit of extra lift before moving technically curling your left toes up, coming back up to create space for your right leg, and then coming back up to create a little sort of counter pose by opening up that right hip, kind of getting the blood flow back again, maybe doing a couple rolls here, whatever's comfortable for you, and then coming back down into your down dog so that we can move into our other side. Lifting your left leg up hip height or higher, bringing that knee to the nose, but just so we can bring that left ankle behind the right wrist and the left knee behind the left wrist. Again, checking to make sure that that right leg is coming out directly from the hip socket, keeping that left foot flexed, and then finding that space where you can stay in that nice stretch without pain or strain. You also have some options available on the back. So if this is not working for you, you can do figure 4 in the back, which looks like this. So lifting that left leg up, crossing it over, sort of this is how you're getting your stretch. You can stop here. You can clasp your hands behind your right knee and use your left forearm as a lever against your left leg and then bringing it back for that left side stretch. Also a great place to be. I'm going to join you guys for a little more of the pigeon. Wherever you are, breathe into that back body. Give in to the fullest expression of this stretch and the fullest expression of yourself. I find that half pigeon is a really great place if you can fold all the way forward to explore breathing into the back body, because a little bit of pressure from your left leg, or even some of you that are super flexible, the mat. And so when you feel how close that is, it really allows you to notice the breath in the back of the body. Let's do 2 more breaths here. Your next inhale, bring yourself all the way back up, getting that one little moment of lift. And then you can turn to sit on your left hip and swing your right leg around, or you can return to that same sort of realigning roll out of the left hip to match what you did on the right side. You always want to match up your sides, even though they themselves are never perfectly aligned. But coming back through your down dog, forward, and then carefully finding your way to a seat. If you want to jump through, then go for it, but something easy and light is also great. So we're going to do a little bit of a twist here, and then some folds, and then we're ready for bed. So first, extend both your legs out in front of you and feel that engagement. So locate your sits bones. I always say you don't need to move the flesh out from under your bum to do that, but you do want to locate your sits bones, and that's sort of your grounding starting position. So bring your right knee into the chest, keep that engagement in the left leg, still locating both those sits bones. Cross your right leg over so you can have your foot flat on the floor. If it's not flat on the floor, consider keeping it on the same side of your body. So crossing that over if you can, and then circling your left arm around your right leg, and then twisting back to the right. So keep that engagement in the left leg. You're going to need a little more than just above the navel. You're getting a really good spine twist here, and looking out over that right shoulder if you can. I like to squeeze that right leg in pretty close to the body so I can feel that sort of IT band stretch. One more breath. And then exhale back. Sort of carefully remove your right leg, not because it can't do it on its own, but because it's important to show the body love. Stretching that right leg out. Again, take that moment, locate the sits bones, and then move into your sort of next posture. Bringing your left knee into the chest, crossing it over if that's comfortable and works for your body, and then reaching around your your left leg and grasping where you can, and then stretching that twist to the left. Lots of different variations of this posture, Vinyasa, tons of different ways to invite twists into the body. And such a critical part of yoga is the health of the spine. So lengthening, and twisting, and neutralizing, helping keep our spine nice and strong, because our spine actually has our back. One more breath here. And then back, returning to the center again, allowing yourself to help your left leg kind of back, and then placing your both legs out in front of you, moving into a forward fold. I'm going to show you from the side. Hopefully my clothes today can demonstrate, but again, when we do forward folds, you never want to just be kind of folding forward here with this arched back, and you don't have to be sort of, the goal is not to just, plop yourself like all the way down. The most important thing about folds is length. So you want to lift and lengthen forward. So try that. Think about the back of your body instead of thinking about, oh, I'm trying to get my head to my toes or my forehead to my knees. Think about the back of the body driving this. You can keep your knees bent here, yogi toe grip. You can also use a strap here to bring this closer to you. For such a long time, this was where I was at. So whatever you need to sort of create the length in your spine, but then bring this closer to you to encourage the body to open up. It will happen. Let's do one more breath here. And on your inhale, lift and lengthen up longer and taller than you were before. And hands through heart center and down by your side. And then prepare to move into Shavasana. Coming back down. Back down gently to your back where we started our practice. Maybe bringing your knees in for just a moment before we release, or maybe you want to do a happy baby. Hands on the arms on the inside, hands on the outside. A little stretch for that inner thigh, keeping the lower back on the floor, wiggling from side to side, keeping the breath nice and soft. Maybe a little bit of a different feeling than when we started the practice for our back. And then when you're ready, bringing everything in super tight, maybe bringing your head and chin off the floor into your knees, and then releasing everything. Exhale. Shavasana. You want everybody to Shavasana like they mean it. Sinking into the earth, allowing your back body to feel completely supported. Knowing that the only job you have right now is to be here and to be safe. Continue breathing here, and I will let you know when it's time to come back. Deepen your breath. And slowly come back into the room. Allow some gentle movement to begin in your fingers and your toes. Maybe allow that movement to find its way into your arms and legs. And carefully bring your knees into the chest and give them a hug. Move over onto your left side and try to keep your eyes closed. Stay in this fetal position. And then I want you to take one really cleansing deep breath. And after that very satisfying exhale, bring your body upright and carefully make your way into a seated position. We prepare to close our practice together. Take this moment to thank yourself for honoring what your body needed today. Take this moment to offer respect for everything that 2020 had to teach us. It was a year like no other, and you had to have your own back. And be proud of the person that you were in 2020 and use that as your jumping off point to grow into 2021. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Lifting our thumbs to our third eye. We bow together in honor. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. I'm so proud of every single one of you for who you are and who you will be. I hope you enjoyed this practice. Happy New Year. We did it.